Alright guys, so another day of wrenching. Oh, the camera just moved. We're going to be working on the new trailer today. So Matt from Slapping Mechanics has this saying, and it's really like hit home with me lately, and it's a couple of hours a day goes a long way. So what happens with me when I make these videos is I'm like, oh well, that wouldn't be enough for a video, and that wouldn't be enough for a video, so I'll do all these things in one, and that'll make one video that I feel like is good enough to make, be like a whole video, right? But what happens is I'm like, oh, I can't do that today. I have time to do that today, but I won't have the parts for that or the time to do that. So I'll wait till tomorrow to do it all at once, and then it ends up taking longer than expected, as always. So what I've been doing lately is just doing a couple hours here and there whenever I can, if that's all the time I have. And then maybe a video takes 3 days for me to make it, but it goes by a lot faster. I get a lot more done. So today we're going to just start on the trailer. I've got like an hour to work on it, so I might as well get something done rather than sitting around doing nothing. As much as I do want to watch some Netflix, I just started Altered Carbon after I finished Lost in Space. Lost in Space was good, but it really made me mad. Like, the one lady, oh god, she just drove me nuts. But anyway, let me know how you guys liked it. I'm curious. But Altered Carbon, just started it, so let's see how that goes. But we're not doing that right now. We're working on the trailer. I'm getting so sidetracked. So let me show you what we got to do today. So this is my new trailer. If you guys didn't see that video, I got a good deal on this trailer. I found it for sale while looking for showmen. It's an 18 foot, 82 inches wide. That one's 16 by 78, so it's a little bigger, which is nice. It's all steel, which is what I wanted. Has the D-rings front and rear, which I wanted. And lucky enough, the slot for the ramps is wide enough for my ramps to fit in. I've tested it, and it goes in. It sticks out to about here. So if I cut the end stop off, I can get it in further. So that's what we're gonna work on now. We've also got to like grind down on this a little bit because it's like it goes in, but you got to really jam it in there. We got to tidy up a wire. We got some stuff to do. So the goal for right now is to start working on getting the ramps to fit in here. That way I don't have to like strap them to the trailer anymore, because that's annoying. I'm gonna start off with a wire wheel and just try to knock some of the surface rust off and see if maybe that gives us enough clearance. Probably not, but before I start cutting into it, I'll do this. That's it hitting the stop. I think if we cut the stop, we'll be able to at least get it into about here, which is fine. I'm okay with them hanging out a little bit. I'd like to get them all the way in, but I think we'll get into interference with the axle at that point. So this wire, which I've kind of messed up by pushing these in and out, hangs down. So when you go to pull the ramps out, it gets caught on it. So I've got these little like things that I can use to mount this up here so it doesn't hang down in the way. And we need to cut the stops off these. Well, see, this one's bent anyway, but we also need to cut the end of this off, bend this down, see how far in we can go. It might be fine without adding more, or we might need to add more to it. So that's the next step. Then we'll figure out a fastening mechanism for back here. So this is what we're gonna use. I ordered a pack of these off Amazon for like 15 bucks. They're these little insulated clamps. This one honestly might be too big. I'm gonna step it down a size. Well, forever later, drilling through thick, I mean, even this is like 1/8 inch. I mean, I guess 1/8 is a lot. But getting through 1/8 with a self-tapper is not a fun process, let me tell you that. So we just cut it off. We will smooth it out with the flap wheel. It's really nice to have two grinders, that way you can keep a flap wheel on one and a cutoff wheel on the other. I didn't really want to have to do it that way, but there really wasn't another option to get that wire out of the way. So now we'll use the cutoff wheel again and cut the end of the support rail deal. This is why you start on projects early, because because he realized that they're gonna take longer than he thought. I might have already showed you yesterday, I don't remember. So there's the track. It ends here. This is where the ramp stops into. So this is what we need to cut off so the ramp can go further forward, but we can't go as far as the axle because the axle needs to be able to compress. So that's the plan. Sawzalls are so sketchy. Cutting metal is sketchy. It's just a sketchy prospect. Okay, let's see how far in we can get in the ramps. Okay, I'm gonna have to think on this. I need to bend this piece back and make sure the other one fits in there good, and then we'll be good to go. But I'm totally okay with that. Them sticking out just a little bit. Way better than having them strapped to the trailer, that's for sure. Okay, I've come up with a new, more elaborate plan that I'm happier with. So this one is bent up. So I test fitted the ramp in and it hits here. So if I can just bend both sides on both of these up a tiny bit more than this, notch this support here, just put a notch in it, you know, like I think I only need like an inch or so, then it'll put us above the frame rail, which is as far up as the axle can go in general. So then the ramps will slide all the way in, tuck up above the axle, and it'll make putting some sort of locking mechanism back here a lot easier, and it'll look a lot better to have them all the way in. They won't be as noticeable sticking out like sore thumbs. So I think I'm going to go through the effort to do that. So I'm going to try to bend this side and just make sure I can bend it before I start notching stuff. Okay, I had to make a parts store run. So she's taping the minor things off that need to be taped off. I'm going to try to bend this rail up and figure out where I need to cut. Get that bar cut before my neighbors hate me. Oh, I pressure washed it. Looks a lot better. So it's ready for paint tomorrow. So we got the paint master Chrissy here. Right, Chrissy?
Yes.
You look like you, what's that thing from Star Wars where it's just hair? Like, is he just looking away? You know, what's the thing? What's the name of the thing?
No, I don't know.
I don't watch Star Wars either.
I don't either.
People are gonna hate me. Okay, day 2. I didn't want to wake my neighbors last night, so I didn't cut and do all that. Cut the piece out of the frame itself, just notched it right there for the ramp to go through. The ramp is over the axle, which we knew it was going to be, but it is above the frame rail. So that's the important thing, because the axle will hit the frame rail before it hits the ramp. Cut this side so we can bend it up, like cut a V out of it basically. Bend it up where we know that it's the right height now, matching the other one, so we're going to weld that up. Then we just got to reverse the copy the process on the other side. Oh, it sucks cutting and grinding and welding things from underneath. Those of you who have done it will know what I'm talking about. Sparks all over you, in your ear, on your lips. I was even wearing a welding mask, still got one in my ear. Huh, rough. But we're gonna knock the other side out, weld it up, and then we can move on from just making the ramps fit to actually painting the trailer. Okay, we got the welder out. It's that time of day. It's so hard for me to film stuff because it's so bright. It's just everything's over or underexposed. But I'll show you what the cut looks like. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. See it? So that one's like relatively straight. I totally botched the one over there, like real bad. I don't even know what happened. I just couldn't tell that like where I was going with it. So we've got all these bent to where they need to be. We've double checked them, so we're gonna tack the little metal plates in, check one more time, and then we will weld them out. That's what we're gonna do now. Metal plates, this is just part of the piece we cut out of like one of the crossbars, which by the way, if I notice like any flexing on the deck because of that, which I don't think is gonna happen because this is some very thick metal, this is a heavy duty trailer, I'll add another bar in there that's like, you know, not as tall, but I really don't think it's gonna matter. We didn't cut that much out of it. So anyway, just wanted to say that before you guys are like, that's gonna destroy your trailer. So we have these little pieces that we're gonna weld in to fix the angle of the end of the ramps to go up, and then we'll move on. That's really it, besides mounting the ramps, like making a way for them to stay in. Alright, well, after I tack welded them, I test fitted the pieces again. Everything was good, ramps went in nice, so I like welded them. This one, my hand was in an awkward position. It was like the easiest one to get to, but I was in the most awkward position, which is funny. Okay. So I just need to let that cool off, then I can just spray paint the raw metal. And then Chrissy should be here not too long from now, and we can start painting the trailer. And oh, I need to figure out the securing the ramps, which I have what I think of as a solution. So it's hot, it's so sunny. Wearing this jacket thing. So, all right, let me show you. Since I thought about putting the ramp all the way in, and like, here, I'll push it in for you. Welding a little eyelet down here for this to kind of sit on and rotate on, and then have like a little sleeve where it would go over and in, but obviously this one isn't big enough, and that idea is just going to be tough to get this to be able to go over and come straight down into something and clip back. So came up with a much simpler solution, just trying not to have this thing break loose and bash my fingers in. Bashed my hand and fingers multiple times today. So drill a hole through the middle of this, right, and then have like a big carabiner or like a hitch pin, like a little spring loaded thing like I have on my jack, go through and hold it through that hole and around this bar. Also allows us to run one of these locks if we because I can lift this up to get it to get far enough up for this lock to work. I've already verified. So I can run one of these locks if I'm staying overnight at a hotel or something. Just boom, lock them, and when it's at home I can just lock the ramps in, so I don't have to worry about scrappers coming and trying to steal my aluminum ramps, because you know these would do decent at scrap. You know, clean extruded aluminum, last time I scrapped stuff was like 40 cents a pound. Probably less now, but anyway, yeah, so I think that's the plan. All right, just got back from Home Depot. So real quick, I just got to tell you guys a story. So I'm walking out of the store, and there's like this chick walking like towards me, and she keeps like looking over at me, so I was like already kind of on edge. And then she's like, hey, can you help me fix my car? And I'm like, oh, she wants money. I'm like, so I don't have any cash. And she's like, no, it's not that. And then I'm like, what? I'm like really confused. And then as I'm like confused, she's like, you know, whatever, and like keeps walking. So as I walk to my car, there's a kid with this like nice Jeep standing there next to his Jeep, and he's like, hey, Taylor. And then she looks back and goes, oh. And in my mind, she was his girlfriend, right? And I'm like, whoa, like this dude's got a nice Jeep, like, you know, he obviously isn't hurting for money, and he's having his girlfriend go try to scam people. Like, what the hell? And then he's like, oh, I watch your videos. And I'm like, wow, like I don't even want to talk to this guy, like in my head. But of course, like I could not talk to him, like I'm a nice guy. So anyway, long story short, I was just kind of like short, like got in my car, like, all right, thanks, man, see you later. And then as I drove off, he drove off too, and I realized that that wasn't his girlfriend. So if that was you, I am so sorry. I hope you don't think I'm a terrible person. I thought you were having your girlfriend scam people, and I was like surprised. Okay, so anyway, what we got from the Home Depot, we got a pair of locks so that we only have one key, because I didn't want to have two keys because I got individual locks. And then these are what we're going to use most of the time to hold the ramps in. So these will just go through, because it doesn't need to be anything strong. They don't really move as is. It's just to keep them from falling out. So we just got to drill a hole in the ramp itself and test all this stuff out, see if it works. Oh, also I got clear bra to wrap the Miata cage stuff, so we'll probably wrap it up here where the hard top goes on and off and touches it, and then obviously wrap the door bars, just so we don't scuff them getting in and out when you put the seatbelt on. This is what Adam did, so it's definitely a good trick to keep the cage looking nice. Otherwise, it'll be trash in like a week. So this is it with the locks on it. Guys, I am so stoked for having my ramps fit in my trailer. It was always a struggle to squeeze them in the bed of the truck. The problem with that was I would have to load them first. So that means I'd have to be like on the street where I'm gonna load the car up. I couldn't back the truck up in here, load all my tires and stuff up, then hook the trailer up. I'd have to load all that stuff up last. And then when I got to the drift event, I'd have to take everything out of the bed of my truck to get the ramps out to get them onto the car. And then I started strapping them to the trailer, but they kept wanting to like slide off because I would only put like one strap on them. So I'm really happy to have legitimate ramp storage situation going on here. Like, hashtag goals achieved. The simple things, right? I'm stoked. So I feel like after painting the Miata cage, I'm a professional. So I got the professional series of paint. I'm just kidding. That's just marketing gimmick. But we're gonna do roll paint because the trailer's huge. It'd take forever to spray paint it. But we also have spray paint for the like hard to reach areas. I was gonna paint the bottom of it, but Chrissy tried to the other night and it went terribly wrong. So we're not gonna do that. All right, we made it up to Atlanta. This is the finished product of the trailer with the paint after a long drive in the rain. It's a little dirty, but it came out really nice. Like, it looks like a freaking new trailer. Now I want to do something with the wheels. I want to like paint them or something because they just kind of look like trash in contrast to the nice freshly painted trailer. Definitely rolling made the most sense. That, like, it went by super quick. I did another coat the next day and let it dry. We spray painted all, like, you know, like inside the rails where we couldn't get to with the roller and stuff. But all in all, I need to turn this backwards so I don't accidentally open my thing onto it. All in all, very good. Towed very good all the way up here. No issues. Felt really nice. It tows very smooth. I'm glad that my ramps lock into the trailer. That's nice because we stayed at this hotel tonight. We don't have our rental house till tomorrow. So yeah, that's the completed product. I'm really glad I just went ahead and knocked it out before this trip so that now it's like nice and good for its first real trip. So I will see you guys in Atlanta. It's gonna be a rowdy weekend. We had a lot of stuff going on, FD, and then driving at an event and all that stuff. So definitely tune in for that. I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.